What's up, everybody? This is Jay from Volunteer Garage. Today we are actually working on my Yamaha blaster again. We are actually going to be installing one of these, a vitos plus 4-degree woodruff key. Here's the instructions that come with it. Pretty detailed stuff, really easy. But it's supposed to add 4 degrees of timing to the engine. I have this on stock. Right now it's stock timing, so that's what we're going to be doing today on Volunteer Garage, so let's get started. Alright, first things first, this is the left side of the engine, if you haven't noticed. But here we go. What we're going to do is I'm going to take off all these Allen heads to get to the flywheel on this baby. So I'm going to take this wiring harness loose right there for the stator. Hold that up out of the way, and mine has Allen head bolts in it, so I'm going to zip all of them off real quick, and it'll get us to the stator, or the flywheel. Alright, I got all the bolts off, all the Allen heads off this, so we'll just slide this case half, or this cover off. There's still a little mud in there. Set that down right there. Now, we're going to get to this nut right here. The way I take mine off is I have an impact that'll do it. They'll take it off, but if not, if you don't have an impact, you're going to have to get something to wedge in these little holes right here to hold the flywheel in place as you take a socket or a wrench, whatever you need to do to take it off. But I got an impact, so I'm going to zip this nut off real quick. Alright, I got my impact. I'm going to zip this nut off right here. It's a 17mm socket. Make sure you have it on reverse, and bam, socket comes right off, or the nut comes right off. Alright, so I got my nut off. So now I'm going to take this tool that you can get at anywhere. This is a Tusk brand. But you're going to take it, this is your flywheel puller tool. You're going to take its backwards thread, so you're going to put it on there and go backwards to the left. And get you some good turns on that. There you go. And you're going to take this and lightly put pressure against the flywheel, or the crank pulley, or the crank, I mean. Like that. And it should just make sure you're going forward. I'm going to use my impact again. And bam. Flywheel is off. Just like that. Easy. Now we're going to take this keyway out. I might have to dig it out with a pick. I think it's kind of in there. There it goes. Alright, there it is. There is the factory woodruff key. So, we'll go over here. So you can see the difference here. There's the factory woodruff key. And here's the vitos. I don't know if you can really see that. There's the factory one, and then there's the vitos. You see that little notch in there. It scoots the key over. If you can see that. It's supposed to advance at 4 degrees, and you can see here in the diagram that you see there, put it in that way, right there. So let's do it. We'll slide it in. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand without dropping it and losing it. Alright, well, I was trying to get the key in there I started it with one hand, but I'm going to have to remove my stator to give me some room, so I'm going to use my impact screwdriver here to take the stator loose, because I don't want to strip out the only 2 Phillips bolts I have left is the ones that hold the stator in, so they're kind of in there snug, so we're going to take that loose. I'll show you guys how I do that because I can't wedge this camera. So we're going to take this screw loose. Put this one, put my impact down here on this bottom one. There we go. That one's loose. So now, I'll take a regular Phillips screwdriver and we'll run it out. Run both of them out. There you go. There's the other. Now, what I'll do is you gotta take this grommet loose, just kind of work it loose. Here comes the whole stator. Take the stator and we'll swing it over out of the way. Also a good thing to do right now on the 2-strokes here is check out your crank seal, which mine are new. They're a little over a year old, so they should be good. And I always use factory seals and stuff. I don't get that cheap aftermarket stuff. But seals look good, not leaks. But now we can get to the crank here and try to work on getting that key put in. I might have to put the camera down because it's kind of a pain in the butt. Alright, the new keyway is installed. A little bit of persuasion and it finally went in. But now next, you're going to install your stator back in place. Like that. Slide that grommet back in its hole. And there you go. Stator's back in place. We'll put our bolts back in it. I'm going to take the long Phillips bolts and put them back in their slots right there. You got one on top and one on bottom. And then we'll get those torqued back down, screwed back down. And then we'll put the flywheel back on. Next, you're going to take your flywheel. I already took the puller off of it. You're going to take the keyway notch and you're going to line it up with the key. You can see a little notch in there. Right there, you're going to line it up right there where the key is. Now you're going to take your washer, slide it on there next. Then you're going to take your nut and put it on there next. Now, this thing gets torqued down to 52 foot-pounds. And if you don't have the tool, I got these. I have the little notches right there. You can hook it in there. This vice grips basically. I'm gonna hook it in there. But if you don't have that, you're gonna have to make up something to put in these notches right here, these little holes again, so you can torque this down to 52 foot-pounds. And make sure you torque it down to spec, and don't guess. I've seen guys do that, and it ends up being very bad. But I'm gonna get this hooked in here like so, and then I'll show you guys torquing it down. Alright, I got my pliers set up. They're on there, they aren't going to go anywhere. There. They're not going to go anywhere. So, now you're going to take your torque wrench right here, set at 52 foot-pounds. I'm going to put it on the nut here. Try to do this with one hand. Oh, make it a different location. There we go. Now, there you go. Set, torqued. So now I'll slide these off. Don't need those anymore. And we'll just put this cover back on. Like so, and I'll get the bolts on it. There we go. I got all the Allen head bolts put back in, the wiring harness put back in where it's supposed to go. We're all back together. So I'm going to turn the fuel on. Actually, I have to put it on mine on reverse because it's kind of low. We'll start this thing up and see what it does. Alright, I got it pushed backwards. Pull the choke up on it. Let's see if she'll start. I haven't started, I just pushed it backwards. Let's see. Ride with it. Make sure it gets completely warmed up. There you have it, folks. That's how you install a vitos +4 woodruff key. Hope you guys enjoyed it today. feel free to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.